Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today I got the best advice for you Bears fans. This is the best advice you're going to get about the Chicago Bears offense and all the questions. Stop being wrapped up in the hot take media. Stop being wrapped up in the call-out culture. Stop being wrapped up in the blame culture. Stop it. Because you are in an era of the debate, hot take society, of the Twitter wars, of all these different things where everybody wants to be 0 to 100. Everybody wants to blame somebody. This didn't work. Whose fault is it? Okay, this didn't work. Whose fault is it? Okay, is it the quarterback's fault? Is it the running back's fault? Is it the receiver's fault? Oh, this person did good. They're great. Oh, this person didn't do good. They suck. Oh, next week they did great again. They're good. Get out of it. That's not how life works. That's not how sports works, especially football. There is no 0 to 100. There is no black and white. There's a lot of context. There's a lot of details to it. And oftentimes the answer is pretty simple. And so all these people wanting to know whose fault is it with the Bears offense, the answer is very simple. It's everybody's fault. There you go, Bears fans. There's the answer for you. It is everybody's fault. Everybody has a little bit to blame. And each week we sit here and there's online, there's in the radio, there's on TV, there's on these podcasts, everything. Whose is it? Is it Nagy's play calling? Is it Trubisky's ability? Is it the O-line's blocking? Is it the running backs? Is it the receivers? Everybody has something to blame. For all my fans of Greek mythology, I think of a saying that if Atlas was to drop the world, it's not because Atlas wasn't strong enough. It's because Atlas was not meant to hold the world up by himself. And that's what I think about with this Bears team. Some situations there is a main cancer, a main, mismatch. But in this situation, it really is everybody. And that's not me just saying it. That's the tape backing it up. That's the analysis. That's the stats. That's everything. I think anybody with a logical sense of analyzing football can look at all the film, can look at the results, and sit there and say, sometimes Trubisky holds the ball too long. Sometimes Trubisky misses a read. Sometimes Nagy has a terrible play call for the situation. Sometimes the offensive line doesn't give enough time in the pass pro. Sometimes the running back doesn't see the hole. Sometimes the offensive line, mostly the tight ends, don't create a hole. And so there are a number of different things that happen, and it's not just one person's fault. Everybody has a little bit to blame. And so I get that we're frustrated, and I get that we want to win. I'm not knocking you for that. But if that energy turns into you dissecting every week in a debate, oh, I think it's Nagy. No, I think it's Trubisky. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's the answer. The truth is, it's everybody. And it amazes me because I do this content, so I have to be involved in a lot of Bears circles to share my content. And so I see it all the time. People are just, no, it's Nagy. No, it's Trubisky. No, it's Nagy. No, it's Trubisky. No, it's because we had Mike Davis. Like, what? And so people go back and forth. There's no one culprit. That's not how this works for this particular team. And usually that's not how it works in football in general. Play by play, overall, you do have different components that come together. One of the most wide-known things that football fans understand is that good pass rush helps a bad pass coverage. Good pass coverage helps a bad pass rush. It's a cyclical, nature right there. But somehow we don't always understand those things in offense. Whenever a quarterback has 8 seconds and makes a good throw, wow, that quarterback's great. Or if a quarterback has 1 second, oh, that offensive line is absolutely terrible. Or, if a receiver makes a huge play, an unbelievable catch, yeah, that quarterback had a good night. We don't discount that 50-yard gain. Or if a receiver catches a ball 2 yards and takes it 80 yards. Oh, that quarterback had over 100 yards passed. Like, people, for some reason, don't understand the connection on offense as easy as they do on defense. And so all that comes together in the fact that people are looking at this offense, they're asking the wrong questions. Now, you might say to me, okay, I agree with you. I understand what you're saying. Well, where do we go from here? That's a different conversation, but I think I've alluded to it a couple times. I do think Trubisky, as a quarterback, as a person, really, needs a fresh start. I don't know that he'll ever be able to perform here with the pressure. I don't think that's something you wake up one day and is gone. I think just like Tannehill and other quarterbacks we've seen, you go somewhere where you no longer have that expectation. I think he'll be better there. As far as what Trubisky holds us back on, for the most part, he does not have the ability to carry the offense when the defense isn't carrying the team. And as a championship team, those are going to be some games like that. Like the Eagles, where the defense isn't holding somebody to zero, or a lot of these games where the defense is being driven on. And if you got a Lions team that comes out and drives on you, or any team that comes out and drives on you up and down the field the first drive, the worst thing that can happen is a 3 and out. They're back on the field with a short field, and now they got to defend again. And so I don't think when the defense is slacking, Trubisky could help. Now, if the defense is getting turnovers, short field position, all that stuff, I think at his best, Trubisky can absolutely help capitalize on field goals and at least touchdowns, or at least field goals and touchdowns, and he can carry the ship that way. But when it's the reverse and we need the offense to be in the shootout, or we need the offense to keep pace until the defense gets it together, I don't think Trubisky can do that. Offensive line-wise, I've talked about this since the draft. That's well documented on how I feel about the offensive line and how I've always said we need to get more talent in that position. Right guard is an absolute necessity. I think somebody mentioned this, and I would give them credit, but it was definitely one of the commenters. They were saying something about Massey going to right guard and getting another right tackle. I agree with that 100%. I don't think it's Kyle Long or anybody on this team. But honestly, either Alex Barrs at right guard or Massey at right guard and getting an upgrade at right tackle would be a great pickup for me. A lot of people like to blame Leno. I think I've said for a long time Leno's a solid C+B- tackle. I think in the space game he works very well, especially with screens and stuff. He's very athletic. So Leno does some good things. Trubisky sometimes doesn't help him. But he's not elite, and he'll never be elite. And it's not like a lot of people have elite left tackles. But I do think he's fine as a starter. I just think the right side needs to be a little better. And then if you could put Massey at guard, I mean, that's a big dude. And then you get a really solid right tackle, I think we'd be in some big business. Because I think Daniels does feel a little better at left guard. But the thing is, Whitehair at center and his snaps, that's not good. Everybody says, oh, it's just snaps. And somebody said he'll get better. Do y'all not see the last few years? He has not gotten better. He's not in his second year. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the league multiple years, so he's not getting better at snaps. And trust me, if a snap rolls back to a quarterback, it doesn't matter the routes people run. It doesn't matter the pass protection. The play is going to be off. So there's that with the offensive line. Receiving core, I've been very vocal. I'm 1,000% happy with them. A lot of people talk about Shaheen and Burden. I'm happy with our tight ends. Burden is a mismatch nightmare. I guarantee you any defensive coordinator, any defensive coach will sit there and tell you that, of course, with Trubisky and the offensive struggles, he's not a threat. But if you really had a team that was moving, you would not want to have to face him, because a quarterback that could get him the ball, he would be absolutely dangerous. And the same thing for Shaheen. And then running back, I like Dave Montgomery. We need another back. Tariq Cohen, to me, I'm really starting to sour on him. But if we had another back that could be a change of pace for Montgomery, as Montgomery starts to mature, we need a veteran that could really help him with his vision. But I really like his physical raw ability. So, and Matt Nagy, I believe I've said he has offensive talent in his mind. I think he too is under the weight of pressure that he created last year, that he has as a newer head coach, as a newer play caller. Everybody wants to label people quarterback gurus and offensive geniuses. Like, genius should not be a word that's thrown around, nor should guru, but it is. And he has that label, and I feel like he's under the pressure to perform. He's under the pressure to make Trubisky look good. I think if you bring in any other quarterback that's not a draft pick, I honestly think he doesn't feel as bad because he's more of a sacrificial lamb. Not to say that I want Cam Newton or Bridgewater or anybody, but if you brought in a bridge quarterback like that, you can say, okay, I'm going to do it my way. We're going to put balls to the wall. If it doesn't work, Cam Newton just didn't work out. And the pressure's not on me. So I feel like, again, I would give Nagy 100% chance to do something with a different quarterback where he's not under the expectations and pressure of you were brought in to fix and develop Mitch Trubisky, which I think is a ridiculous premise to bring in a head coach. And that's a reason a lot of these NFL teams are failing. But again, that's where we are. So that's it, Bears fans. If you want to know the answer, to the burning question, why is our offense not working? Who is at fault? It's everybody. So if you got to the end of this episode, then go ahead to the comment section and put all in your comment so I know that you listened to the whole thing. Thumbs up, subscribe, share it around, get the conversation started. And remember, stay up and bears and bears down. Stay up and bear down.